Hey everybody, it's nice to be here. I'm the CMO of Aztec. I'm Claire Kart. Yeah, they brought it up. I don't care if you guys think I'm a cypherpunk or not. I know what I'm here for. I know why I'm here. I know why I've been in the industry. What I'm going to tell you today, you might not want to hear this, but I also don't care about that because I think everybody needs to hear this, right? So like, if you come away from this being like, oh, she doesn't belong here, guess what? I've heard that all before. So I know where I am, I know why I'm here, and I want to walk you through the way I see our industry and why I think we really need to radically change. So, title of my talk, no one gives a fuck about privacy. Okay, so what do we do, right? Like, I'm not here to preach to you. I want to see this as a problem, and how do we solve that problem? Let's get into it. Oh, okay. All right, yeah, so cool bubble, bro, right? Like, I think we are all inside a bubble, and that's okay, but it's also important then to acknowledge that and to figure out how do we get outside of this. Because if the only people who use privacy tech in 10 years are the people in this room or even the people at DEF CON, we will have massively failed. So first, we have to acknowledge we are in a bubble. A little bit about me, like I said, I'm Claire, I'm the CMO at Aztec, I'm a board member at Radiant Commons, which is the lab behind Penumbra, invest and advise a lot of other privacy-focused tech projects and kind of across the Web3 spectrum. I have taken some really boring products to market in my career. I started in tech at a fintech. We were working on helping people refinance their student loans. I was there for 4 years. The company IPO'd. So I have a really strong track record outside of Web3, and I think it's important to bring in those like core disciplines, right? Because marketing has been around for 8,000 years. So for anybody in here who's like, marketers, like, okay, but like, you really can't ignore the market. And I see our industry ignoring the market, and I would like us to change that. I also was, early employee at Ripple, first non-technical member at O of One Labs. I took Mina to market, created the category around what it means to be like a ZK-focused project. Was at Risk Zero, and now I'm at Aztec, kind of my dream job. All right, so here's the agenda. I know what you're all thinking, like, that's really not true, Claire. What is this heresy? Get off my stage. Why did these people invite you? But we're going to get into how I think about this, and maybe I'll change your mind. All right, so I know what you're thinking. You're like, Claire, you have missed it. Signal is so popular. Like, everybody I know uses Signal. It's growing. Yeah, it's growing, but if we look at the data, this is messaging apps by monthly downloads, right? There's two things we measure when we're looking at consumer applications. One, monthly downloads. Second, monthly active users. So you pair those and you figure out like who's dominating the market. What we see here, yes, Signal is on there. Even being on there is insane. Like that is an accomplishment. But are we okay that WhatsApp has 40 times the monthly active users of Signal? I'm not okay with that. Like, privacy tech is a drop in the bucket. It is so small, right? WhatsApp has 2 billion monthly active users. Signal has 50 million. So even amongst all the Signal users out there, they are in a bubble. Like we are in a bubble. So why is this? And I know what you're thinking next. You're like, but Claire, Firefox and Brave, they're so popular. But they're not that popular. They're just popular amongst us in our bubble. And again, it's the same thing. 2% of all people use Firefox. Brave isn't even on here. Brave is in this other category of 1.4%. It's a percent of 1.4%, okay? So I don't know what that is, but it's insignificant in my opinion, right? There is no dominant technology that offers privacy that is adopted widely. Okay, so here is the problem with privacy as a marketing message. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with privacy as a technology. Privacy as a technology is great. How do we help it connect to what people want so that they will use it? The issue is privacy is an abstract concept, right? Like, in the real world, privacy makes a lot of sense because you think, oh my God, like my pervy neighbor's looking in my window, that's rude. You know, okay, that's privacy. No one should do that. But digitally, it's abstracted away from us. And this is the fucked up thing about surveillance capitalism, right? It's like there's this long terms of service and you just don't know. You just can't really understand how is all this data being used, right? It's super abstracted away from our daily lived experience. And that's why it's so dangerous. but it's also why we really need to amp up how we are marketing this to people to get them to pay attention. So when something is an abstract concept, generally in marketing, what that means is it doesn't impact consumer decisions. They can't understand how it impacts their lives, so they don't take it into account in their decision-making framework, right? What's the solution? Segment customers, tie it to a real use case. One company I think is doing a great job of this is Raramo. So Raramo is not saying privacy good, they're you're in these countries where your privacy is at risk, you want to vote in an election, that's a very specific use case. Here is something that is going to help you do that, right? So that's what I want to see all of us do with these privacy tech things is how specifically is this going to help you? And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking yeah, but then we won't reach 1 billion people. Go reach 100 people first, okay? Then go reach 1,000, then go reach 10,000. You have to grow it out from what people want and how they're actually going to use it. If you try to be everything to everyone, you're nothing to no one, right? Next thing, it's not top of mind. So again, it doesn't impact purchase decisions. I think we need to bring emotions into marketing more. I think, all of you in this room are technologists. I'm not a technologist, but I spent my career working with technologists, cryptographers, et cetera. They have this assumption that people are rational, and people are not rational. None of you are rational. Why do you even work in this industry? It's insane, right? You're connected emotionally to what you're doing. Maybe you could go make more money elsewhere. Maybe you could have a better quality of life, whatever, right? But you're here because you love it. You're here because of your emotions, not because of your rational decision making. So we have to stop assuming consumers are rational. They are not. They are driven by their emotions just like us. Next, it doesn't solve a problem. So in marketing, when something doesn't solve a problem, it doesn't make it into the consideration set. The consideration set is all the things that a consumer is going to consider before making a decision. Okay, I want to buy a car. Maybe I'm going to consider, a Honda and a Toyota, right? You have to get into that set, and privacy is not in that set. The solution here is to frame it differently. So let's say that you have, an email product, right? ZK email is awesome and really cool. If ZK email frames it as, oh, you guys, this email gives you privacy, okay, that's cute. What problem does it solve? This email platform will reduce your spam by 95%. That's a banger. When people think about their email, the number one reason, it's a meme on the internet, inbox zero, right? It is not possible, and our emails are worthless tools now because they are full of spam. Even if you have the best filters, or maybe you're yeah, but Claire, I use 10 different emails, so okay, well, that's a lot of tax on you, the user, right? So if we had an email system that provided privacy and by that was able to eliminate spam, that is something that can sell to a user. So I want to see everybody thinking about their products more like that. Next, thinking all consumers are the same. I actually think Tor has done an amazing job at this, and shout out to Alina, the organizer, because she brought this to my attention. Tor is such a great example of an actual privacy tool that was adopted, and Tor has insane customer research. They weren't just this is good, They dug in. What do people want? Who specifically is going to use this and for what reasons? If you haven't checked this out, I really recommend it. So the thing about privacy is they might care about privacy, but they care about other things more. They care about the things that are right in front of them in their daily lives, meeting their daily needs. And my argument is that, just trying to kind of shove privacy down someone's throat is not going to work. All right, so we're going to look at a little case study. I picked this one, Tesla, because, I don't know, the US election, right? It's top of mind. Good old Elon. The electric car has, been around for a really long time. I think the first electric car was in, the 1880s. But here's an early example, first picture I could find. This is the 1920s. This is the first kind of, more mass-marketed electric car. It's kind of where privacy is today, right? Some people are interested in it. They're sort of figuring out product market fit, how to message it. It had usability issues and it was too early. Okay, that's its own problem, right? We fast forward to 1996, GM released the EV1. It was expensive, kind of a problem, but so was a Tesla. Tesla was very expensive when it first came out. They marketed it as practical. They were this is so practical. You're not gonna pay for gas. And people were just okay, that's not really what I'm looking for in a car. What are people looking for in a car? Somebody shout something out. Think about a consumer. Like, what are they looking for in a car? Oh my God, yeah, who said that? Who said sexy? Show me who you are. Yeah, thank you. Tesla is the most user-centric car company. My husband actually used to work there, so I had like a really insider view of how they develop all of their software, their hardware, everything. They want to deliver users what they want, right? Not what they think they should have. So this is the first Tesla. This is their little Sportster they released in 2008. Like, I'm not a car person, but like, if I had to pick one of the three, I'd pick this one. Like, it's a sexy car, right? And what are people looking for in a car? Fast, sexy, premium, desirable, stylish. Maybe it's a flex, maybe it's a conversation piece. Okay, I get it. Some of you are like, no, my car just needs to get me from A to Z. But we're not the average customer, right? Again, we're in our bubble. So when we think about the average customer, like, do we want to judge them for this? Or do you just want to be like, okay, if I want to get electric cars into the hands of people, here's the wrapper, right? When you open it up, it's still an electric car. Like, the brand positioning of Tesla, the mission of Tesla is to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable, renewable energy sources. That is Tesla's mission. Brand positioning for the Tesla, sexy-ass fast car. Not like, it saves you gas money and you're saving the environment. Like, boo-hoo. So, pre-Tesla, this car's electric, that's really good, please buy my car. Post-Tesla, this car is fast because it has a badass electric drivetrain, it's premium, you're gonna absolutely love it. You're gonna wanna like pick up guys and girls in it, do your thing, have a really great time, you're gonna look forward to driving this car, you're gonna tell everybody, you're gonna post about it on social media. Okay, so let's get into how to privacy pill consumers a little bit, because like, I think this is what we wanna get to. So I'm sure you all have seen this like more times than you would like to. Is everybody familiar with what this is? It's okay to raise your hand and be like, I've never seen this, Claire. Okay, so this is the technology adoption curve. Industry to industry, you know, it's nuanced, but on the whole, this pretty much holds up. So in case you've never seen it before, what it's showing is that there's kind of this standard distribution bell curve of the way people adopt new technologies. So crypto, blockchain, privacy technology is a new technology because digital technology itself is still kind of a new technology. You have this really small slice of people who adopt it first. Those are the innovators. It's 2.5% of people. So those are the people that might actually be attracted to a technology because it aligns with their values, because it aligns with their principles, right? That's us. Like, we are the people who are like, this is good, I wanna invest my career in this, I wanna adopt this technology. But if we don't have empathy and understanding for these rest of the people on the bell curve, like if we're not thinking about what early adopters or early majority want, and if we're willing to judge them and be like, no, you should drive this ugly electric car because I say it's good for you, we are never going to succeed. So what I want to encourage everybody to do, if you're a researcher, like whatever your role is in your organization, or if you're independent, like please, please, please be open to what users actually want. And talk to them in a language that meets them where they're at. Because we don't need to sit on an ivory tower and be like, this is what you need. You know, let's find out what people need and let's try to give it to them in a way that enhances their lives. We all know that privacy technology enhances people's lives. But let's just communicate that in a way that people can hear it. Okay, so this is like a little us versus them, right? And I don't love this, but it's true. People inside companies, they're building this privacy-preserving technology. They're not the early majority, right? They are the early adopters. So it is a little us versus them, but how do we kind of, I'm gonna poke a little bit of fun at this, right? So here, this lady's like, I bet he's thinking about privacy technology. And he's like, I just wish my email wasn't filled with spam all the time, right? So how can we kind of like recognize that us versus them and then get beyond it? Here, you know, like, here we are. We're like, you guys, privacy is a human right. The surveillance state is spying on us. We're all fucked. Like, what's wrong with you that you don't care? And this, like, poor consumer is like, oh, I just wish I wouldn't get so many spam texts. Like, I don't really know about human rights. Like, I'm just really annoyed with my phone, right? So does that person's concern, is it like any less than ours? No, it's not. It's a real thing. And if we can meet them where we're at, we'll succeed. Okay, so again, this us versus them, right? Like, we're over here in our bubble just being like, privacy is good, privacy is good. And they're like, okay, sure, yeah, that's great. But mostly I just want technology that's gonna solve my everyday problems. So I guess my call to action for all of you is try to get to know the users that you are selling this to or that you want to like adopt your technology. Yes, it's still really early for us, right? Maybe it's 1920 with the electric car and it's just early and that's okay. Talk to your early adopters, get them to love your tech, use it. But if we're gonna evolve beyond it, we really need to think about what those people want and stop being judgmental and just give it to them. And so I kind of liken it to this. Yeah, so the thing I want to leave all of you with as a marketer, as someone who's, been to grad school for marketing and all this stuff, like studied it, thought about it, I love marketing a lot. Let's take a user-centric approach here, right? What do users want? They have needs, let's help them meet them. Can we connect privacy technology to solutions that address problems, desires, and needs? And can we make it relevant? And then the second thing is like, I'm up here lecturing you, but like no one likes to be lectured, right? Like if you go to someone and you're like, you should do this, you should do that. People don't like to be talked to that way. So we have to make them want it. We have to make them desire it. And it's, like I'm a mom, right? So I always think about this. Like I put vegetables in my kids' smoothies. It's got mango and broccoli. I'm not just like, eat this broccoli, I see your face. The mango broccoli smoothie is actually really good. I'll make one for you one day. But, like you can't just sit there and be like, well, if you're not eating your broccoli, like I'm going home. Like put it in the smoothie. Like how are we making this appealing and attractive to people? And let's not be afraid to go there. So this is the thing I want to leave with you all today. Like, do we want to be right or do we want to win? And that's my final question. And I think you all need to actually like get into your body and think about this because if you're telling me, well, I just want to be right. Like I want to sit here and preach privacy to everyone. You need to go home. Like if we're going to win, I want to win. I think you all want to win. We have to change our mindset. So everyone here who wants to be right, don't be Sisyphus, right? Don't roll the boulder of consumer preferences up the hill. Like, make a nice, smooth path where you give them what they want. And yes, I know we're all very principled. I'm very principled too. But at the end of the day, if things continue in the direction they're going, like, we are all fucked. So, like, how do we kind of stem the tide? And I think we stem the tide by using these, like, very tried and true marketing and user research principles. So that's it. I'm Claire. If anyone wants to connect with me, I'm really easy to find. Claire Kart on Twitter, Claire Kart on Telegram, clairekart.49 on Signal. And yeah, would love to hear from you. And thanks.